Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle at the 15, to the 20, breaks free to the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 in the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. If you're not following us on Facebook, what? Listen. Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning, like that page. And so not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you also will be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real. Listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, and also click the notification button. That's the little bell right next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching us on our mobile app, yeah. But listen, please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Come on now. What are you doing? Where you been? Listen. We have an app. So go wherever you get your apps from, you go there. All right, wherever it is, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Venture, Woolworth, Weebolts, okay? Weebolts, Goldblatts, wherever you get it from. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big Clarence, keeping you abreast of all those Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on our Roku channel, well, I like that kind of party, baby. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us this favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel right to your television. Put it there next to Netflix, Hulu, Max, Prime, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Stars. Man, Stars, I got to watch the new BMF, Black Mafia Family on Friday. That was dope. All right, do that for us, okay? Just do that. We'd appreciate it. You can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy, the CHI, at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, all right, let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at The Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IG and you do it just for the gram, but just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Man, we have a phenomenal show, but it's getting crazy in here. This chat is going live. Man, I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here on the on the screen. We'll put in the thread. And I'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate in the show, and that, my peoples, is what makes this the best Chicago morning sports talk show around, and that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it, just bring it. Man, let's check the comments, because they are going nutso right now. Man, Shorty, Mr. Shorty's in the house. Top of the morning to you, baby. 2 of our 3 draft picks. You're Bears fans. Yes, they did, doctor. Yes, they did. Yes, they did, Mr. Shorty. Good morning, Papa. Man, my man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. My man Junior's in the house. What's up, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. Yes. Pistol Pizza Boca. Pistol Pete, actually, and Piero. Was Piero first? I think Piero was first. Piero was first, and then Pistol Pete. Or was it vice? I think. I don't remember. But our buddy Nick, or I should say, Piero, his younger buddy, ended up kicking at Notre Dame. So if you remember the name Nick Setta, his older brother played with Junior and I. He was, man. Cornelius Squalls, what up, baby? Yes, Santa Poles left us some good presents this year. Yes, sir, Bob. Let me tell you how fired up I am about that. Oh, snap, Jay Grizz in the Mickey Ficky house. Good morning, Papa. Wishing all sports owners a good morning. My man, Michelle Walls in the house. Happy House Music Monday and a White Sox sweep. When was the first time you thought you were going to be able to? Were you even thinking you'd be able to say that this year, huh? Michelle, I thought of you. We had to do devil. Is that what the hell they called? Shit. I don't know. Anyway, basically it was burpees with dumbbells. And I thought of you, man. I was like, oh, Jesus. Ain't nothing but burpees with dumbbells. Playing, good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yo, King Book of World in the house. Thank you, Papa. I appreciate you for tuning in. James Ford in the house. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Telling you, you guys are awesome. I love it. Man, everybody's wishing everyone pleasantries. I like it. Oh, you're Jay Grace, remember Nick Setta? Yeah. So his brother and I, me, Junior, and his brother Piero played together, and I remember, and Junior will tell you, he'll confirm it. He'd be on the field pregame. You know, we're stretching your pregame. Dude, he'd kick 45, 50-yard field goals back in high school. Easy, 55, 50, easily 50-yarders. All right, and probably about 55 maybe. But the kid had an explosive leg even back then, which is why, obviously, Notre Dame wanted him. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Luis Mejia in the Mickey Ficky house. Good morning, Papa. Rise and grind. How you doing? That's what I'm talking about. Man, whew. Tell you what. So we got a great show. At 10 o'clock, Lorin Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast is going to join us. We got a lot of Bears to talk. I'm excited. Man, we are in a new era. We're in a new era. And you know what? I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about what and hold on. It's crazy. Just there we go. This is a good time for Bears. No, it's a great time for Bears fans. All right, great time. All right. You know, we have one of the top quarterbacks in the draft. All right. We have one of the top receivers in the draft. We got the top punter in the draft. And for those of you who don't know, who might be poo-pooing that, let me tell you something. And then when I played with the Thunder, we had another punter who was phenomenal, named Eric Guthrie. So funny story. I call him Jeffrick. Jeffrick. Because he came over and I didn't know his name. I didn't. You know how they introduce you to somebody and then let you know, like 10 minutes later, you forget their name. But this went on for like a couple weeks. I didn't remember the guy's name. I just called him Kicker, just because. So then one day in practice, we were practicing like, hey, Jeff. I for some reason, I don't know why, I thought his name was Jeff. I was like, hey, Jeff. And he's not paying attention to me. I was like, Jeff. He looks at me. He's like, are you talking to me? I'm like, yeah, aren't you Jeff? He's like, no. I was like, oh, my bad, bro. What's your name? He's like, Eric. I'm like, oh, I was like, I'm calling you Jeff and you're Eric. Like, Jeffrick. So I put them together. So Jeffrick. So as a matter of fact, yesterday the other day when they got Tory Taylor, the punter out of Iowa, I posted it, but I also I tagged Eric. I was like, hey, Jeffrick and all punters, I'm like, stand up. And so this is the guy I was telling you about. So if you think that this punter can't be a weapon, you're sadly mistaken. First of all, he's got great hang time. Okay, he's got great hang time, which gives our coverage team a great chance to get down there. Get down there, down the ball, and if you watch, and who was it? Shorty said, yeah. I never meant to be watching punter videos at 2 a.m. on my phone. Yes. So anyone who poo-poos it. So let me. Did you forget about a guy named Devin Hester? Did you? All those who are poo-pooing the punter selection. Did you forget about a guy named Devin Hester? Did you forget about a guy named Cody Parkey? These are all special teams players. And there are 3 phases to a game. And if you don't remember how Devin Hester was able to flip the field, and I'm not talking about his touchdowns. All right, he's the greatest returner in the history of the NFL, but he didn't return every single one for touchdowns. He flipped the field. So he'd get a 30, 40-yard return on a punt. Well, that's called flipping the field. So you get the ball either at right where the line of scrimmage was or pretty close to it, maybe a few yards past it, maybe a few yards short of it, but you're basically getting the ball. You're getting the ball pretty close to where you force the team to punt. Now imagine this guy with his ability to get good hang time, and imagine the offense of our opponents starting inside the 10-yard line 10, 15, 20 times throughout the season. Just think how important that also flips the field. Okay? Because when you pin them back, guess what? If it's a 3 and out, boom. Now they're going to be kicking right around to the 40-ish. Any kind of return, run a plus side of the field. So don't poo-poo it. I'm hearing a whole bunch of people say, well, I don't know if I would have taken a punter that. Okay. Again, these are the same people who have opinions that are given to them by other people. And I'm telling you, this guy is a weapon. So don't worry about everyone who poo-poos it because they don't know jack spit. And it's funny how some dudes, they were still saying, someone said something about Justin Fields the other day, and I'm like, oh, and he couldn't read defense. I'm like, it's not that he can't read defenses. He can. Like, there's plenty of times where he's held people like, well, somewhere he's audible. I'm like, Now you're not. I said, now you're moving the goalpost. I said, we're talking about, you said reading defenses. He's able to read defenses. I said, there's plenty of times where he's held a receiver or held a defensive back or moved the defensive back to throw it somewhere else. No, well, it was crazy. Like, and I'm like, I'm not even talking about, I don't want to talk about Justin Fields anymore. Like, leave him alone. Let him go do his thing in Pittsburgh. Okay. I wish him well. All right, but stop shitting on the guy. The guy's not even here. The guy's not even here, and people are still shitting on him. Like, come on, man, let him go. Let it go. He couldn't. He's not this. I'm like, you're an idiot. Like, yeah. So, Jay Chris, looks like polls believe we're ready to win now by drafting Legatron in the 4th. No, probably next season. But he's gonna make some noise this year. Well, I've said it, and I haven't shied away from it. 10 wins minimum. Minimum 10 wins. It has to be that. It has to be that. It has to be. AC Adam in the house. Good morning, Papa. I don't know if I said hello to you. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. But minimum 10 wins. 10-7. That'll put us right in the fight for the division. So I love it. I love it. But I think Grown Man Christmas is come and gone. And I think we are very, very, very happy with our presence as Bears fans. I don't know about you, but I was ecstatic. So let me ask you this. Yeah, the crocodile punter. Yes. You can't lose Legatron. So I forgot. Who's the punter that has the nickname Legatron? I forgot. But there is. Hey, Joseph Archer. Good morning, Papa. I believe this is the first time I saw you in the chat. Good morning. Welcome to Sports Zone Chicago. I appreciate it. Hope we keep you entertained. Yeah, one of the other punters has the nickname Legatron, which is fine. I'll take the crocodile punter from down under. Listen, Mike. So yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good with this. We're going to talk about this with Lorin Cox at the top of the hour. But what we're going to do here first, listen, hold on. We're going to take a quick break. All right. And on the other side of the break, we're going to get to our top of the morning topics. We didn't get to it yet just because we were talking. I was saying hello to everybody. Brouhaha's in the house. What's up, Papa? He's checking in. That's what I'm talking about. I told you, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. You know, it's 9 o'clock, baby. You know, you're back at work. Sometimes you got to settle in. Sometimes your boss wants to say something. So you got to go get your coffee. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get it. You know? Just chime in when you can. Put us on the background. All right? Pull up another screen. Get your work done. Listen to your boy. Holler at you about some Chicago sports. All right? So don't go anywhere, folks. Our first segment, top of the morning, is coming up on the other side of the break. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Friday, missed yesterday, back today. And he's back, greeted with a strikeout from Eric Fetty. 0-2, rung him up. Meditated on that lineup. In on the hands and just over the second baseman's head. Great piece of hitting by Jimenez, his first hit today. Steps. There they go, and Grossman under the glove of Meade. Here comes Gavin Sheets, he will score. 2-1, hit hard, and it's through the hole. Pham will score, waving in Sheets, he will score as well.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago. Those were the good guys from the South Side. I should have worn their hat today. The good guys, yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. You know what? It was funny. So one of the guy that went to St. Rita with me, he's a Scrub fan. I try not to hold it against him. But he likes to talk shit. Okay. And he'll come, like he texted me the other day, like, oh, how come you're not posting anything White Sox or whatever. And then the other day they lost. Saturday, they think the Cubs lost on Saturday. And I was like, karma. He's like, no, karma. I'm like, karma says, because you keep talking shit. I'm like, that's why Cody Bellinger got hurt. I said, because you want to run your mouth. I was like, no one told you to run our mouth. No, we're bad. Like, you want to keep piling on. I'm like, karma's a bitch. I was like, there you go. It's no karma. I'm like, okay. And the Cubs lost again last night. He didn't text me. Gee, shocker. But anyway, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Oh, yeah, baby. The first top of the morning topic, you know where we're going. Yeah, baby. My good guys on the South Side. Man, you're going to make me start wanting to go to games, baby. Steve-O, you should have put a sweep and a broom or something in there. Because I don't know if you'll get a chance to do it the rest of the year. It might have been your only chance this time, Steve-O. But anyway, the White Sox, they sweep with a 4-2 win. All right, Fetty was on a bump. He got the win. He's 2-0. He went 8 and a third. Now, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's what I'm talking about. You go 8. Stop this 5-6 inning crap. All right, you go 8. Your starting pitcher, you need to get into the 8th inning. He got into the 9th. You need to go in there with a mentality that I'm going at least 8. 7+ and get into the 8th inning. Then you got your setup man, your closer. That's it. And I love it. I love it. All right, Leisure got his first save of the year. Fetty. He went 8 1/3, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 9 punch outs. They said Leisure got his first save of the season. Came in the ninth, got 2/3 of an inning. No hits, no walks. Benintendi 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, his 11th and 12th of the season. Grossman 1 for 3, driving in his second ribby of the season. And Danny Mendick, who was really, really, really hot down in AAA. He had a homer in 5 consecutive games before he was brought up. He was 1 for 4 with an RBI. And the White Sox, staying with the good guys, the White Sox, they host the Twins tonight on the South Side. All right, first pitch is at 6:40. You can catch that game on NBC Sports Chicago. You can also catch it on Fox Sports 1, or you can listen to it on the flagship AM 1000. Joe Ryan is on a bump for the Twins today. He's 1-1 with a 3.45 ERA going up against Garrett Crochet. He got to be the hard luck pitcher. A lot of guys have won that title around here for the White Sox. Garrett Crochet, he's 1-4 on the season with a 6.37 ERA. So good stuff. Happy the boys were able to not just win the series, but sweep. That's what I'm talking. Sweep. You know, that's great baseball. Next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. Yeah. The Cubs fall to the Red Sox 5-4 yesterday. Wisniewski, he's got the no decision. He went 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, a walk, 3 punch outs. Tachman was 2 for 4, hitting a homer, his 3rd of the season, driving in his 8th, 9th, and 10th runs of the season. Matt Mervis, never nervous. Matt Mervis was 1 for 3, driving in his 2nd RBI of the season. The Cubs lose the series to the Red Sox because they didn't park the car in Harvard Yard. It's a wicked pisser. They forgot his wicked pisser. So they lost that series 3-2. But the Cubs today, they travel. What are you doing? There you go. The Cubs, they travel to New York City. New York City. They travel to New York City to Queens. Kings from Queens. From Queens comes Kings. Hammers in hell like a class when the lunch bell rings. Cubs travel to New York City to Queens to face the Mets tonight. First pitch is 6:10. You can catch that on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship 670 AM. Jameson Taillon is on a bump for the Cubs. He's 2-0 with a 1.69 ERA going up against Luis Severino. He's 2-2 with a 2.67 ERA. Cubs lost the series. It's nothing crazy. It's not, not like. I just loved it because I was able to talk shit to my Cub fan friends. And they're like, oh, you're still only 6 wins. I'm like, yeah, but you got swept. And the day before, Saturday, you got your ass blown out 17-0. 17-0. There was I don't know if you saw, there was a fight. There was a fight broke out at the bat rack. I want to get up. No, I want to go up. No, I want to go up. No, I'm next. No, I'm next. That was a fight at the bat rack. 17-0. And we lose a lot of games. We ain't losing 17-0. Knock on wood. We ain't losing 17-0. Sorry, Papa. Hey, karma's a beep. Yes, Luis. Yes, 3 in a row, baby. Man, they're gonna make me want to go to more games. What the hell? Gonna make me want to go to more games. Good guys getting it right. Yes, Bruja. Karma's Ryan Pace taking Michael Penix. Oh man, Jay Grizz. That knows I can keep my mouth shut. Hey, listen, you had all this season, all right, to give us the business, all right. And you're gonna have a lot more of the season to give us the business. But right now, just give it to us. Just let us have it. Just let us have it. It's not gonna be like this all season. I don't know a lot about a lot, but that I do know. There's not going to be a lot more sweeps by the White Sox this year. I just hope people keep inviting me to those suites. If you've never been in a suite for a game, man, you're missing out. Talk to your insurance friends. Talk to who else would do it? To insurance people. If you're a good customer, say, hey, do you guys ever get tickets to suites or have that for your clients? Man, getting in a suite is dope. I've been in a lot of suites, but I'm just saying it's dope. Yeah, Luis, 17-0 on Saturday. They couldn't even muster a field goal. Oh man. That's all right. All the stuff that we've had to endure this year, our first sweep of the year, I will take it. We're excited about it. And now we got to move on. So we'll probably lose today. But that's okay. We just swept the Tampa Bay Rays. Pare down the sweetness. I see what you did there, Bruja. That's very, very, very nice. I see what you did there, Papa. The next top of the morning topic, man, it's tough. Woo, our girl, Candace Parker. WNBA, Naperville Central, University of Tennessee, WNBA, Chicago legend, our girl, Candace Parker, who's 38, announced her retirement from the WNBA after 16 seasons. She's a 3-time WNBA champ. She was the Rookie of the Year in 2008. Two-time WNBA MVP. One of the times was as in her rookie year. She's the only person to win Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season. She's a 2-time NCAA champion at Tennessee and under the late coach Pat Summitt. And she's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Candace was something. She came to Chicago. She's also the first woman to win a title with 3 teams. She won it with the LA Sparks. Okay. She won it here in Chicago with us. And she won it last year with the Las Vegas Aces. You know, mad respect to Candace. She's another one of them girls who can play with the dudes, who gets mad respect wherever she goes because of her ability. She stepped on the scene at Tennessee and just went ham. Didn't stop when she got to the WNBA, and I'm happy for her. I'm happy for her because she walked away on her own terms. Okay. Yes, her skill set was diminishing a little bit. Okay. But it wasn't to the point where you see some players who are hanging around just for a check. Okay. And not that the checks are very big in the WNBA anyway. But she got to walk away on her own terms. 3 different franchises. Okay. She led to the WNBA championship. That's impressive. Right? And if you ever see her on pre and post, she'll do some TNT, and I hope that's where she stays. I hope they add her to that, even if it's just for the playoffs. But adding her to No, Cheryl Swoops was. Cheryl Swoops. Cheryl Swoops was the first lady to do that. But I hope they keep her there because, and then I've seen her on Kevin Garnett's podcast. Like, she's just a baller, and that's the cool part. And what's really awesome is like no one cares. She's like, they don't talk to her like a girl. That one I don't know, Jay Grizz. You might be right on that one. You might be right. But they don't talk to her like a girl. They talk to her like a hooper. And it's different. Like the way I've seen her and Kevin Garnett, and he's fired up like he is talking to her, like he is with Paul Pierce, because she has that respect, and that's the thing. Game recognizes game. Candace Parker was one of those girls who, as I said, she was a bad mamma jamma. She was bad. And you have respect for people like that. You have respect for people who are ballers. Love her. Love her. Lavette Lee in the house. Good morning, Mama. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. And no, I'm still not going to go to the other side. Especially after your Cubs lost again yesterday, after getting pounded 17-0 on Saturday. We talked about that already. We laughed about that already. And my White Sox swept this weekend, so we're good. They swept the Rays. Probably the only sweep the White Sox are going to get all year, so we're going to enjoy the hell out of this, damn it. Anyway, Candace Parker was special, man. Candace Parker was... Play that yesterday, bro. You couldn't play that all weekend, Steve-O. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. But, yeah, man, Candace Parker's awesome. God bless her. I'm so happy that she was able to retire on her own terms. That's, man, nothing more, nothing less. I am so fired up for her. Congratulations on a great career. You're a great mom. All right. She has a daughter with a partner. Now, and hopefully she just stays in broadcasting because she's, and then maybe coaching, maybe clinics, maybe camps, because someone like her, like those are people you want to look at. And Angel Reese had did a little thank you to her, because she was someone you looked up to. Like, yeah, she was 6'3", 6'4", something like that. But man, she had the handles of a guard. Like 6'3", 6'4" is big in the WNBA. It's tall. You have some taller people like Camilla, but 6'3", 6'4", and for her to handle the ball like a guard, because in the guards, the women are 5'8", 5'9", some 5'10". They get 6'3", 6'4", and have handles like that. Yeah, mad talented. She's only 38. She's only 38. So she's got a long life ahead of her, at least another 50, 60 years, which is awesome. Yeah, it was awesome watching her play, even when she was with the LA Sparks. And then she came here, won a WNBA chip her hometown of Chicago. She went to Vegas, won a chip there. The girl's a freaking winner, period. End of story. She's a winner. And I'm grateful we got to see her play. I'm grateful she brought a title here, WNBA title, to the city. I'm grateful that she's able to walk away on her own. Congratulations. Looking forward to seeing what else you do post-basketball. Next top of the morning topic, man, oh man, oh man. The Bears. This image courtesy of the Chicago Bears. Man, we have 5 new draft picks this year. Well, we all know the first one. All right, Caleb Williams taking round 1, pick 1. And then round 1, pick 9, Romeo Dunze. Then a Chicago kid, Chicago kid, Hinsdale Central. Kieran Amagaji, I want to say is offensive tackle out of Yale. No sacks and I forgot how many hundreds of reps. You know, take that with a grain of salt. Let's not forget it is AA or FCS level, but still the ability. Now he's long, and the funny part about this, if you didn't know, he met Coach Eberflus last year on a golf course. Okay, his dad was playing golf. Coach Eberflus obviously was playing golf, and he goes up to Coach Eberflus and says, "Hey, Coach, I'm Kieran. I go to Yale." He said, "You're going to draft me next year." How crazy is that? He said, "You're going to draft me next year." That's some balls. That's some balls for a kid who's going to Yale. All right? If you go to Michigan, Illinois, Notre Dame, okay, I can see that. Kid went to Yale. Kid was at Yale. He was a junior at Yale at the time. And said, "Coach, you're going to draft me." And he remembered it. That's awesome. All right? But then with the last pick, or what we thought was their last pick, the fourth round, 122, they got Torrey Taylor. Now, people were poo-pooing this selection. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. Oh, you took a punter, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, whoa, do you even know who this guy is? This guy is awesome. And he is a weapon. You ask anyone at Iowa, anyone in the Big Ten who's played Iowa, this punter is a weapon. Let me tell you, I ended up playing, and I talked about it earlier. Junior and I had good kickers, good punters. When I was with the Thunder, I had a guy named Eric Guthrie, who I told you before, and I'll reiterate it for some people who came on a little later. When he first came on, and Bobby Miller was one of the guys who brought him over. Bobby Miller came in like 04, 05. He left for a year or two, and then he sent Eric over to us. We're warming up game one. And for me, I get there 3 hours before the game. Right? 3 hours before the game. 2.5 the absolute least, but usually 3 hours. I get all my pads, because I put my pads in my pants. I do all that at the stadium. I don't do it at home. I didn't do it at home. I did it at the stadium. And then I would run around the track. All right. So for the straightaway, I do high knees. For the curves, I do groin stretch. The back curve, I would do. Oh, for the first lap, it's just a nice little jog around the track. That's for the first lap. And the second time on the straightaway, it's high knees, it's butt kicks, cariokas. I do groin work, all active. And then I did active stretching, leg swings, side to side. Like it would take me 45 minutes to warm up. And I'm watching Eric. He's kicking from like the negative 30, negative 40. And I remember one time I was coming around on the jog, and he punched it. And I'm at like the 10-yard line. That thing hits like the 5-yard line and makes a straight 90-degree angle out of bounds. I was like, holy shit. And he kicked another one. Because punters have their own bag of footballs. They bring their own footballs. Kickers, punters, their own. They march to the beat of a different drummer. Let's just put it that way. And he does it again. I'm like, this dude. Then he kicks it down the middle of the field. I'm like, well, what's he doing that? Like, he didn't put it in a coffin corner and he hit it. It hit the ground like on the 3-yard line, bounced straight up, and then bounced right back where it was on the 3-yard line. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So he was a weapon for us. He was a weapon. And as I said earlier, let's not forget about special teams. People often overlook that third phase of the game. All the time they do that. Why? I can't tell you. But if you can pin, and also he's got phenomenal hang time as well. So you give your coverage team time to get down there, and you start your opponents inside the 10, inside the 5. I still say that's going to happen 10 to 20 times this year inside the 10-yard line off a punt. Watch. And if it's only 17, oh my God, I was wrong. If it's only 14, oh my God, I was wrong. And that helps out the defense big time. Like, see, all these things that people don't understand, like this helps Caleb Williams. This helps him out. Why? Because now you got a defense. So what if it's 3 and out? Now they're punting from the end zone. They're punting from their end zone. We're going to catch the ball on like the minus 40. You give me a 10-yard return. Now we start our drive in plus territory. We got to go 50 yards, 40, 45, 40 yards for a touchdown. All these things that Ryan Poles has done to help the new quarterback, Caleb Williams, and this team. I love it. I hear you, but you have. Justin, I don't know. I don't know if we need more. Trust me, we could always, defensive line is one that you can never have too much talent, ever, because you rotate. So I get it. But I think and then after the punter, I'm sorry, let's not get it twisted. Then you went back in, you traded back in and got this guy. This guy is going to be special. And by special, I'm not saying Pro Bowler, I'm not saying Hall of Famer. No. What he's going to be now, this year, maybe even for 2 years, because look at his frame. But this year, he's going to be a one-trick pony. And he is the one-trick pony that I was asking for. On third down, second and long, third and long. You go in, do not tackle the running back. Don't worry about the run. Go get the quarterback. Unless you feel a screen. This guy, I highly suggest you go watch his tape. He's a little light. I get it. But that's where you put in the NASCAR package. That's where you know. His takeoff is phenomenal. His 10-yard split is like .2. It's actually like 0.19. Slower than Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy, if you don't know who he is, he's the wide receiver who just broke the record for the fastest 40 time. Okay? And he's just say 0.2. He's a little slower than the fastest guy in the draft. So imagine him coming off the corner. It's awesome. His bend is awesome. And his ability to, once he realizes, if he gets to the top of his path and he's stuck, he's able to spin back. Cornelius, he is a man. He is baby Huey. Jamri Chroma, he is baby Huey. I watched him. I was like, look at this big mother Hubbard. Yes. Yes, Cornelius. Yes. He does play with great leverage on a couple of sacks I saw. He got to the tackle, and then dude, he just dipped that shoulder. He got so low. Tackle was like whoop, right underneath the tackle. Tackle, the next one went down, whoop, still got underneath him. I was like, holy cow. Kept his balance, sack on the quarterback. Yeah, barely Simone. I like this guy. And here's why Bears fans like him. He's blowing out the Packers their first round pick. That offensive tackle. Back into the quarterback. So those are your new Chicago Bears. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break. That's a great call, Barely a healthy Pernell McPhee. Yes. Dude, when I saw him like that, dude, it's baby Huey. This baby Huey. I'm telling you, I'm excited. Ryan Poles. Mad respect you did for this draft. All right, let's take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome our guy, Lorin Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast and get his take on the draft. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the Army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators. A passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds. Help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Every day we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
You kind of went the other way, like 8 Super Bowls, hit all these goals. What is it about you that doesn't want to duck any of the smoke that comes along with the expectations?
What's the reason to duck? It's here. There's no reason to duck. I'm here. Rome's here. Keenan Allen, top 5 defense that we had last year. Special teams, all the new rules, whatever. We're here. So I'm excited. I know everybody's excited. The Bear fans are excited from what I've heard and seen. And there's no reason to duck. Attack it, head first, and go get it. Yeah, why wouldn't I? Obviously, if there's growing pains, you handle them. But that doesn't mean that affects your greatness. There's trials and tribulations that you go through. Why would I go somewhere, work so hard for so many years, in every situation that I go to, believe I'm the best, and then I get here, and I don't believe that.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. That was our new quarterback, Caleb Williams. There's no reason to duck. There's no reason to duck it. I like it. The guy's got a lot of confidence. I like it. I am hoping he's able to live up to 3/4 of the expectations, because if he does, now we're talking Super Bowls. All right. The kid has been talented. And and again, for me, it was never the talent. All right, never the talent. Okay. I hope he's able to come in and with what they put around him, with most importantly with a veteran play caller. I think that's the most important thing, who's able to aid a young guy. The thing I wanted to do right now is I want them to win with Caleb Williams. All right. Just don't lose it. I don't need you to win right now because of Caleb Williams. All right. That could come next year, 2 years. Hell, it might even come at the end of the year. Shit. Week 15, 16, 17, and 18. It could come then, depending on how well he picks this offense up, how well it gels, how well him and Shane Waldron vibe, him and all his weapons vibe. It could end up being this year. But to start, I don't need to win because of you, young man. I need to win with you. And if you remember, I had his high school coach on, my buddy from college, Randy Trivers. And he said that, and I asked him that question. I was like, is he going to have a fit if we're not throwing the ball as much as he would like? And he said, man, Caleb's a winner. So there were times that he'd throw for 40 attempts in a game, and there are other times where he'd throw for 15, and he's cool with both. If he's cool with both, damn, that's going to make this team super, super, super dangerous. We're going to talk to this guy because this guy's dangerous too. You better watch him. Watch out for this guy. He's in the Lockdown Bears podcast. He's a good friend of the program, man. He's been on here plenty of times. And you can find him on Twitter at Cox Sports 1, like Fox Sports 1, but with a C. Man, let's welcome back our guy, Lorin Cox. Lorin, what's up, Papa? Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. I think it's the first time I've been described as dangerous in a long time, so I'm trying to embrace it today.
Just revel in it. Just revel. Like, I am dangerous, man. Damn. How was the weekend?
Busy, but fun. I mean, it's like Christmas 3 days in a row, man. I love it. I love it. Can't get enough.
Christmas.
It is nice to kind of come back down from it though, and like relax a little bit, sleep a little bit on Sunday was really nice. But hey, it was a fun weekend, and certainly the Bears gave us plenty of reason to be excited.
Yeah, you know what? I'm really happy about it. We obviously knew Caleb was most likely going to go number 1. He did. And there was some questions. Was Rome Odunze going to be there at number 9? All right, man. We did a live broadcast at Output. I want a big shout out to Output for hosting us over at 1758 West Grand. Man, wings are awesome. Drinks are cold. A lot of good alcohol. But we didn't know. And I'm waiting. I'm looking at the number 8 pick. I'm like, come on, just don't take Rome. Just don't take Rome. Just don't take Rome. And who was number 8? I don't remember who went right before him.
Michael Penix was the
right. Atlanta. So I was like, at first of all, I was like, yes, yeah. They took Michael Penix. I couldn't even celebrate properly because I'm like, yeah. Why did they take Michael Penix? It just blew. I was like, we get him. Your thought. Give me your thought on how you felt when they took Michael Penix. And now we have the ability to and did draft Rome Odunze.
Yeah, I had the same reaction as you, where it was like I didn't have time to think about who's on the board because it was still that immediate like, what the heck? Like, and I'm a pretty big Michael Penix fan. I think I like him more than a lot of other people in this process. Certainly the knees and the injury history scares me a little bit, but on the field I like the talent a lot. So I mean, I was still kind of wrapping my head around it, but it was I felt like once you got through the Titans at 7 and the pick was in for the Falcons and we knew they weren't trading out of it, like at that point that was where my fear was someone else trading into the 8th pick and scooping the Bears or jumping the Bears to get Rome Odunze. That was the one thing that I was more worried about, because once we got past like 5 and 6, the Giants get Neighbors, and then the Titans go offensive line, like kind of like we thought they would. It's like, all right, as long as no one jumps the Bears here. So once the Falcons pick came in, then I kind of thought they would go defense or something else. But then to let Rome Odunze fall right there, then the question was like, are we going to have a Jalen Carter situation like last year where the Bears are on the clock and the player everyone wants is there and they still decide to trade back and let somebody else take that player? But Ryan Poles, to his credit, like stayed at all 4 of his picks and then added the 5th one, but like he wasn't that eager and wasn't that eager to move around and just kind of said, I'm going to let the board fall to me, take the best player available. And it worked out pretty darn well, especially in that first round.
Yeah, I'm really happy. And you know what? There seems to be a lot of symmetry going on. You know what? And I was reading an article today, the guys from Sports Mockery, Eric Lambert wrote that there was a kind of a guy who kind of maybe not behind the scene, backstage, kind of introduced those two. And that was TJ Husmanzada, former Cincinnati Bengals guy. He knew that Caleb was going to be out there throwing the ball around. And he said, hey, and he told Rome, hey, you know what? Would you want to get in on this throwing session? Blah, 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 blah. So he got him to that throwing session where he can meet DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Caleb, and then they were on the same flight together. That I thought that was pretty cool. And I was going to say the Bears did it, but they didn't do that. But this was a picture of them at the airport, right, before they were teammates. And then I like what this is them after. But I'm some of the leadership skills that my guy Randy told me, his high school coach, were evident when Rome was announced. You saw Caleb run. We all saw he's in the little room with the curtains. I don't know who he's talking to on the phone, but he goes Rome Odunze, building that relationship. All right, that's a leader. All right, that's a leader. That's a guy. And you saw and Rome Odunze falls right into it. Like, okay, you're my leader. You're my quarterback. I'm your receiver. How did you feel when you saw those guys just bonding together at the draft, well, leading up to the draft, at the draft, after the draft, and yes, and the other day when they were at Hallis?
Yeah, you could see it even in just the throwing sessions, right? Like, I'm sure Caleb Williams is the one. I don't think Keenan Allen and DJ Moore are calling Caleb Williams saying, hey, buddy, can you come throw the ball to us, right? Like, no, it's Caleb saying, like, this is happening. I'm going to be your teammate. Let's get this organized. And to go to not just a couple of receivers on your team, but like those two receivers on your team, the veteran guys who are kind of, leaders in there. Keenan Allen's not the leader in this locker room yet, but will be once he kind of gets established there. But those types of caliber of player, like he could have easily called Tyler Scott and Velus Jones to throw to them because those are young guys that aren't really established. They're not doing anything. Like, hey, you want to come throw some balls with me just because you're available and you're on my team. But like to go straight to the top and say, like, let's get this connection going now. Let's get started. Let's get rolling on this. Like, that is the kind of initiative that you love to see a young quarterback take. And it fits with everything we heard about Caleb Williams coming out of USC and including your guy coming out of high school as well. Like, he's been built this way from a really young age. And right, he's not coming in as some 22-year-old who's still trying to figure out how to manage people. Like, this has been something that's been such a part of his life that obviously there's another like step up to the NFL when these are grown adults making millions of dollars as opposed to college kids making hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's still something that he's got such experience doing at every level that it should be a much more natural transition for him, as opposed to like, say, Mitch Trubisky coming after 1 year of being a starter in college and 1 year of locker room leadership in that role, right? There's not as much underneath his belt to kind of apply that to the NFL.
Yeah. This is, I had a good feeling. Okay. I had a really, really good feeling about it. It was just, I just had a good feeling. There's a lot of things that happen, a lot of things, and you watch them and sometimes I don't get a good feeling, but there was just a good feeling overall from the draft, from Caleb, from Rome Odunze. And then talk to me about the next offensive lineman. Bit of a project, I would say, because he did play at the at the 1AA level at the FVS. I played Yale when I was at Holy Cross, but I hadn't given up a sack. Okay, so if you're gonna go, and the one thing they always talk about, if you're gonna go get a guy from a lower division, he's got to dominate. He's got to dominate first, and not giving up a sack in 3 years, 4 years, whatever. Yeah, that's kind of dominating. Give me your thoughts on Kieran, the kid from Naperville Central.
Yeah, I'm still working on the last name. I think it's Amegaji, Karan Amegaji. But no, it's definitely a project type player, but all the physical tools you would want, someone who's going to be physically looking the part of an NFL offensive tackle, the length, the size, the strength. Someone who can move people in the ground game. I certainly think there's still a marrying of the hands and the feet as far as technique goes. I don't think he's getting NFL caliber offensive line coaching at Yale per se, but like you see enough of the baseline tools there for him to be getting like to where he's got the foundation there, and you just hope that your offensive line coach in Chicago can really kind of mold that to be exactly where you want. And what made the pick more palatable for me, in the scope of the draft that the Bears team needs, was his versatility to be able to play, or to having had played left guard earlier in his time at Yale. Like, it feels to me like that opens up so much more for him to be able to be, in 2025, if he's going to take over as starter. If Braxton Jones plays really, really well, maybe there's not an opportunity at tackle for him, but you could move on from Nate Davis at right guard. You could cut him after next year and not cost any money. Or Tevinjenkins is going to be a free agent this upcoming offseason if something goes wrong there. Like, there's a reality here where Omega G becomes a starter at guard if he doesn't end up winning out at left tackle in the near future. So that ability to put him in any of those 4 spots makes you feel like, okay, this 3rd round pick will pan out to one of the starting jobs at some point, and there's not really a big risk of him never finding an opportunity because, Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright, if they lock down those spots, you can still find a job for him elsewhere.
Yeah, and what was really cool about it was his story about Coach Eberflus, him meeting him the year prior. Talk about how crazy that was. He met him the year before at a golf outing and said, "You're going to draft me." And he's like, "Oh yeah, we'll take a look at you." And 1 year later, they draft him. How crazy is that?
Yeah, you wonder like how close the Bears were to taking someone else in that moment. Like if the picks had gone in any other order, like Ryan Poles had talked about how, they were letting the board come to them, and, a pass rusher went off the board right before them and a pass rusher went right off the board after them. And you wonder if, like Braylon Trice from Washington was the pick right before them. And if Braylon Trice is on the board there and Omega G, is Omega G still the top player on their board, or how did that play? Like, it's crazy how it had to have fallen in this exact way for him to still be the top player on the board. And that if any other order of picks had gone before them, it's possible that, it doesn't happen. And it also makes you wonder how many other prospects have met a Bears coach somewhere and said, "Hey, you're going to draft me someday." And then you never hear the story if they don't actually draft you.
Very true. Talk to me about the Thunder from Down Under. All right. I love the pick. A lot of people were poo-pooing it. And a lot of people poo-pooed it until they saw his film. All right. Tory Taylor from Down Under, mate. And his ability to punt that ball and the tricks he can do with it is amazing. Talk to me about that young man.
Yeah. Tory Taylor is clearly the best punter in this draft. He is one of the best punters that has come out of the draft in a long time. I've seen Tory Taylor punt in person. I saw him warming up at the Iowa-Wisconsin game, and he was standing in the end zone, just booting punts as hard as he could and landing them like the other 20-yard line. You know what I mean? Like, these were in the air 80 yards when there's no rush on him, and he's just kind of like, he was booting them like almost the length of the football field. It was incredible. And then, at Senior Bowl practice, the same kind of thing. Like, when you see him punt them in person, it really is something special. And I talked to him at the Senior Bowl. He's a nice guy. He's a good dude. He's a down to earth, just loves ball, love kicking. But at the same time, like, that's my preamble to say, like, I still don't think a punter's worth a 4th round pick. Like, even if he's the best punter in the NFL, I don't feel like a 4th round pick is the kind of value there. Like, I wouldn't have traded the 4th round pick for any punter in the NFL right now that exists. So to me, like, I wouldn't take one with that 4th round pick. I would rather use the 4th round pick on a player that's going to have a higher, at least take a chance on a guy that's going to play more snaps. Like, a punter is going to punt 4 or 5 times a game at most, ideally. And ideally, you never punt, right? So like, investing this much in a punter is like is investing in your offense not being successful. And I would rather invest in my offense or my defense being better with that premium of a pick, when I know that good punters go undrafted every year. Good punters are available in free agency every year. And I think the difference between like having the best punter or having the 10th best punter isn't that significant. Obviously, Trenton Gill to best punter is a big difference. But if I could have got just like a good punter in free agency, that would have been just fine. And I could use my 4th round pick on another defensive lineman or somebody else that has the potential to be an Eddie Jackson, to be an Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, I know those are hard to find, but I'd rather take my swing on a guy that can be something great. Whereas like Tory Taylor can only have so much impact, and he's a great punter. Just 4th round is just too early for me. Fifth round, okay, I get on board with, but certainly like 6th or 7th is like, that's fine. But 4th round, it can still be something so great that I'd rather use that on a position player that can have more of an impact.
Okay. I poo-pooed it as well until I watched it, and I was like, hold on, player. Hold on. And having played with a phenomenal punter in college, and then afterwards, I'm like, holy shit! Like, okay, I get it. And so we're going to be on opposite sides of the fence then, because I'm okay with it, with that, because one, he's got phenomenal hang time, and that, I mean, and my thought was, man, if you're able to start your opponent inside the 10-yard line 15 to 20 times a year, yeah, that you talk about helping Caleb. Well, guess what? Your defense gets 3 and out. Now you're punting. Now chances are you get a little return, even a halfway decent, maybe even less than decent return, 5 to 10 yards. You're starting on the plus side of the field. And you talk about going short fields. This is how you help a quarterback. This is how you help a young quarterback get in there. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at it in totality. And that dude is good. But okay. And then they jump back in. And get Austin Booker. I was begging for a one-trick pony. I said it on the show on Wednesday. I said all that leading up to the draft. Like, dude, just go give me a guy. Give me a Mark Anderson from 2006. Give me a guy. I don't care what just all he does is 2nd and long, 3rd and long, NASCAR packages. Just go get the quarterback. Don't worry about the running back. Don't worry about the screen. Don't worry about the draw. Just go get the quarterback. And that's what they got, at least for his first year or so. That's what he's going to do. Your thoughts on Booker?
Yeah, Booker's so impressive for a guy who started 1 game in college. I think it's so crazy that the Bears traded into the 5th round. Like, I like the pick, but it's conceptually it's crazy that like a guy who started exactly 1 game in college is a 5th round pick in the NFL. I mean, he led the team in sacks and forced fumbles or whatever. Like, he was obviously still productive, and the whole starter designation is kind of moot at that point. He played like 40 snaps a game, but no, I mean, I love the foundation that Booker has already in terms of, like, I think over the course of this season, going back through some Kansas tape, like, you saw him add or at least flash more of a pass rushing repertoire as the season went on. Like, he could, like, they're not refined by any means, right? He's not like Leatu Latu comes in the NFL where it's like he's got 4 or 5 moves that are just locked in. He's ready to go. I think he's going to be a great fit in the NFL. But like Booker, like, at least like has shown the ability that he understands the concepts there. And then, the defensive line coach Travis Smith can bring him in and say, all right, like, you've got the idea here, but let's start this part a little bit earlier. When the offensive tackle's hand goes here, let's get on top of that a half second earlier. Because Booker's the guy who seems to like kind of wait for the tackle to establish like what he's going to do and then kind of react to it. And I think if you can speed up that process and be more of the aggressor there, and more like, I'm going to make the tackle react to me as opposed to react to what the tackle's going to do, that speeds up the time he's going to get to the quarterback and be more effective in that regard. With him, I'm curious what the ceiling ends up looking like there, because like, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, and he's not the fastest. He's got a decent explosiveness, but he's not like, Leonard Floyd kind of explosiveness. So like, I think he can be a really good rotational guy there, but I wonder, he gets the Max Crosby comparisons, and I feel like he's not quite as explosive as Max Crosby, and Crosby put on a lot of strength. Like, can Booker get there? I mean, maybe, but I end up kind of wondering, like, does he ever top out at something super great, or can he just be that 3rd rotational rusher who gets some good sacks in pass rushing situations, like you said? And for a 5th round pick, that's fine. Like, that's a fine career there. It's certainly better than what Dominic Robinson has produced in the same kind of draft range.
Guys, we're joined by Lorin Cox from the Lockdown Bears podcast, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. And that's all I wanted. Give me a one-trick pony. All right, because we have a plethora of picks next year. The edge class next year is much deeper. Okay. And I'm not worried about him setting the edge. We'll let DeMarcus Walker do that. All right. On rundown, you set the edge. You go get the quarterback. See ball, get ball. That's it. That's all I need from this guy. And we'll deal with get a better, more complete defensive end next year. But him in the rotation, that's all I wanted this year. And I'm cool with it. I'm happy with it. And if he does develop into something more, wow, the man, you talk about buttermilk icing on the cake. Man, I mean, you throw another 15 pounds on him and 20 pounds on him, with maintaining his explosiveness and probably getting him more explosive. Because, man, there are a couple of times I saw him, and what you were saying is, because right now he was able, and again in college, he's able to see what the tackles do and then react. You might not be able to do that in the NFL because they're a little quicker, a little stronger. All right. Because I saw a couple of times where the tackle went to punch him and just dropped that shoulder, and tackle's like, oh shit, boom, sack. I was like, whoa. And then I saw another one where the tackle went and the tackle saw him dipping, and he went down and he dipped even lower. I was like, whoa, like his shoulder was like this far off the ground. Like his bend was crazy. I'm like, are you kidding me? And so for someone who's so inexperienced playing football. He hasn't played football like this dude. I mean, it started in games. I mean, I was very impressed with his flexibility, his bend, and his just relentlessness.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Like it's that motor and that fluidity that you feel like like that's what gives him that initial like he's going to be able to find ways to win in the NFL early on in his career. Someone who like until other teams, it's that back and forth, right? So no one has tape on you, so you can come in and kind of surprise the offensive tackle against you a little bit. And it's like, whoa, he's skinnier, slipperier than I thought he was going to be, and he gets by you for one. And then okay, they learn what he does, so then he has to develop some additional counters and add some more strength and be able to counter how they adapt to him. And that's where we kind of see the difference between a guy who makes that just year one kind of like splashy, pass rush specialist guy versus a guy who can become something greater and become a full-time player, become, to reach more of that full potential is how you adapt once they adapt to you.
It's all about adjustments. You're right, Lorin. And once people get you on tape, they have some tape and watch you, and they see what you do. What adjustments do you make? All right. And the great ones know what people are going to do. Like, okay, they're going to do this. So when they make this adjustment, I'm going to do this. And so they work on their second move before people get their first move down. And once they get their first move down, like, oh, you got it. Good. I just so happen to have this move. And that's the cool thing. So hopefully with the D-line coach, and I expect, and this is where I'm really looking forward to Mr. Washington, Coach Washington, getting the best out of these guys. All right, he has a phenomenal reputation, extremely well. He's well respected in the NFL coaching ranks for getting the best out of players. And now you get a young guy like this. He's like a blob of clay that he can just mold, get him stronger, get him quicker, get him more explosive, teach him more moves. And you talked about once he's able to come up. And imagine if he only has 3 moves instead of 1. So now he gets 2 extra moves. Man, that's I'm not asking him to be Latu or anything, but give me 2 moves or 3 moves. And now people got to deal with you and your speed and your slipperiness. Sometimes you being slippery that's a move in itself that a lot of people can't do. So I'm really excited for this. What's your overall grade then? What's your overall grade for this draft? Because if you think about what's your overall grade for the draft for Ryan Poles?
Yeah, for me, the first round picks weigh so much more than the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round picks that like this has to be at a minimum an A draft for me. Like I said, I would have gone differently in the 4th round, and maybe even I don't know how you feel. Some people are not happy with a developmental offensive lineman in the 3rd round. I'm perfectly fine with Omega G, but like regardless of how you feel about the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round picks, like getting 2 absolute home runs with the 1st pick and the 9th pick like outweighs any doubt you might have about any of the later picks after that. And I do generally like the later picks as well. So to me, this is an A draft, and how we look back at this draft class will be 100% dependent on how good Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze are. Like if they're everything that we want them to be, and they are, the future for the Bears at quarterback and wide receiver 5 years from now, then if any of these other 3 picks do nothing, we'll still think that's a great draft class because you got Caleb and Rome and they've been great. Whereas like if for some reason something goes wrong with Caleb and Rome, and a couple of these later round guys are good, it's like it doesn't matter because Caleb and Rome weren't what we wanted them to be. So like it's all about them, and they're both A picks for me. So it's an A draft as a whole.
Okay, I give it an A as well. I think that because of Caleb, because of Rome, I think those 2 are huge. I love the fact that Caleb's got his guy. All right, he's got his guy. He's already he worked out with him before the draft. They became, they were like, are we best friends now? But they are. It seems like. So I'm anxious to see how he throws him the ball. But then you still got 2 Pro Bowl receivers on either side of DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. But it makes things so much easier because now. So what are you going to do? You're going to put. You can't shade a guy. You can't double cover a guy. You can't go zone because Keenan Allen is all 6'5" of his ass going to find a spot in the zone. You can't go man because DJ Moore's going to. Well, what can you do? And that's what I love. What Ryan Poles has done, adding Odunze makes this more flexible. Maybe put Odunze in the slot. He'll probably stay out most of the time, but most likely you're going to slide Keenan Allen in. Or you know what? You want to free up DJ? Keenan Allen, you go on the other side and put DJ in motion and have him unable to be jammed at the line of scrimmage and get him come on. There's so many different things that Shane Waldron has to play with. Like, he's got to be like this. Like, I love it when a plan comes together, because he's got to be happy as a kid in the candy store, because he's got so many weapons, and he's got a young quarterback who, who just he's going to make him, I think, get those playmakers the ball. The ball.
Like, there's no excuses for Shane Waldron at this point, right? Like, when we went through the conversation with Luke Getsy, in year one, it's like, well, he doesn't really have any receivers, and we kind of like, okay, well, maybe this, and then even in year two, it's like, okay, well, there's some offensive line injuries, and we're not sure like how much, then Justin Fields gets hurt, so then the quarterback's in and out. It's like, well, how much of this is offensive coordinator versus quarterback? It's like, no, you've got quarterback, you've got running backs, you've got tight ends, you've got receivers. The offensive line will see.
Defense. You got defense back there. It's
We'll see how great the offensive line is going to be, but it's not going to be terrible by any means. It's just a matter of, are they closer to average or are they above average? Those kind of counting on young guys to keep progressing there. So we'll TBD on how good the offensive line is. But like, there's been investment in all these positions clearly across the board this offseason. Investment in the offense has been the priority there, and I'm also curious about what that leaves for the defense, but certainly there's no room for excuses for Shane Waldron. Like, you've got everything you need to be successful. Let's make this work, and let's make the job as easy as possible for this young quarterback, so that he doesn't have to try and force so much or try so much. Like, I like what you said at the beginning. Like, win with Caleb Williams. Don't make it that you have to win because of Caleb Williams. Let's not press it here. Let's run those RPOs that he ran in college. Let's keep those passes short. Like, let's not try and do anything too crazy. You can open things up as you go along, but like, don't need to start with anything crazy. Let's just roll this out. Take advantage of your new punter when you need to. Take advantage of your defense as you need to, and let Caleb come along as slowly as you can while he's already going to be the starter in week one.
Yeah. And I love it. We had a question. Joe Archer says, are you familiar with a lot of the UDFAs that they got in Keith Randolph? Could he be our 3 tech? Are you familiar with him?
I've seen a little bit of Keith Randolph, but I can't say that I'm, thoroughly versed. But I don't think he's going to come in and start over Gervon Dexter in week one. Like, certainly I think Randolph to me is more of like a higher floor, lower ceiling type guy. I don't know that he's, dominant.
Solid rotational guy then?
Yeah, like he's a good quality back. I don't see him as that like explosive to have that kind of like high ceiling next level to me. Like, he's smart, he's strong, he's physical, especially in the running game. He can hold up well in the interior. Like, he'll get his job done, but he's not that guy who's going to be like, whoa, who's that athlete there on the interior? Like, I think he could be a 3 technique, but he's not going to be, Gervon Dexter. When you see him rush the passer, sometimes it's like, whoa, like that's a guy who's physically built a little different. He just moves incredibly well for a guy his size. Randolph to me is a little bit more average type body type, but where he could have a really long career, but just a long career as a backup player is never going to, I don't see him becoming that like 10 sack difference maker on the interior, but a guy who can give you some valuable snaps in rotation off the bench. Like, he's got a great opportunity here to be the number 2 3 technique. I mean, there's just not a lot of depth on this defensive tackle spot right now. So it's a good shot for him to make the 53.
Give me your thoughts on Jamie Cromont, a kid from James Madison.
I have not
not him yet. Okay.
I'm not a smaller school guy, but I've heard a lot of good things about him. I saw you talking about him right before I came on here.
Yeah. I watched a little bit of him, like, damn, like, looks like baby Huey, dude. I'm like, that dude looks like he was playing out of his element. Like, all right, now you got to play with the big boys, dude. Like, stop playing with your little brother and his friends. That's the way it looked like when I was watching some of his tape. So now he gets to play with the big boys. So I'm really excited about how this is really plays out. Like I said, I gave it an A as well. A lot of Bear fans are really fired up about this whole thing, and they should be. Talk to me real quick about a couple of the other teams in the division. All right. Minnesota had a nice little draft too. Talk about that. JJ McCarthy, Dallas Turner.
Yeah. To be able to get one of the top edge rushers in this class was certainly something I wasn't super thrilled about Dallas Turner making it all the way down to them. I mean, realistically, we knew like between Latu and Verse and Dallas Turner that they had a decent chance of getting somebody, but I'm not crazy about them getting Turner as a really, really great Danielle Hunter replacement there. But I'm not a huge JJ McCarthy person. I mean, I'm willing to be. I'm not here to say he's going to be a bust or be terrible, whatever I mean. But like, I don't know. I see the Alex Smith comp, and I think that's fine. And maybe in that offense that can be something great. But like, I was just really glad they didn't get up to get Drake May at 3. Like, I was so scared that they were going to trade everything to go get Drake May, and then Drake May would thrive in that Kevin O'Connell offense and just be terrorizing the Bears for years and years and years. And who knows, maybe JJ McCarthy can be something close to that. But like to me, I think he's a quarterback who needs more from his supporting cast than someone like Drake May, and he's got a good supporting cast in Minnesota, so like that's fine. But I don't know. I'm not as scared of them in year one with JJ McCarthy as I would be if it was Drake May. But I'm not here to say that JJ McCarthy is going to be bad either. I'm not sure exactly. I don't quite see the long-term ceiling there, but maybe he can be surprised and do a little damage in year one. But it doesn't strike fear into my heart that, oh my God, they got JJ McCarthy. Like the Bears are going to have a tough time trying to defend that Vikings offense. Like those receivers were already going to be tough to defend, but like the quarterback to me isn't adding a ton there of like fear, for me.
I think JJ McCarthy is going to be really good year 2 and 3.
Sure.
From then on, I don't think, because I think that what they're going to do is the same thing that I hope the Bears do with Caleb, is like, let's win because of you, and that's what he did in Michigan. They didn't rely on JJ McCarthy. All right, they relied on a great defense. I mean, hell, Michigan had 13 people drafted, the most players drafted, most school with players drafted. He had 13, so that tells you it's a team. I like the situation he's going into with Justin Jefferson, with Jordan Addison, with Aaron Jones, with T.J. Hawkinson. That's a nice little thing. We're talking about Caleb stepping into. That's a hell of a nice situation. And the thing that ties it all together with a beautiful knot, Kevin O'Connell. And that's what people always forget, is the ability to have a veteran play caller. So he's not going to say, okay, all right, JJ, we got to throw the ball 40 times and you got to win. No. He didn't do that in Michigan. He's not going to do that as year 1, maybe even year 2 or part of year 2. But I think JJ is going to be able to break out a little bit because everyone is going to downplay it. He got a great running back in Aaron Jones, and he doesn't have a lot of beef against. Well, he loves running against us, but I think he's got a lot more beef with Green Bay. So now he's got two teams in the division that he's really got a beef with. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good thing. And I'm not putting him in Canton by any stretch, but you can still have a really great career and not get into Canton. And that's the thing that worries me is his confidence level. Talk to me then about all 4 quarterbacks then in this league. I mean, in this division. I mean, you got Love, you got Williams, you got McCarthy, and you got Goff. Talk to me about these guys.
Yeah, I think right now, just given the experience that Jared Goff is kind of the favorite there, but I don't love. I've never been a huge Jared Goff believer. Like I think in Detroit, like they've done a good job of, again, like surrounding him with some weapons and certainly invested a lot in that offensive line and the running game and the mentality of Dan Campbell, and then just a great play caller in Ben Johnson, to where
bingo,
really propping him up. Not that he's not doing anything there, but like I still keep waiting for the old Jared Goff to come back. And I think as soon as things aren't so ideal around him, he will. Like he's one of those QBs where if you surround him with great talent, he'll be great. But if you don't surround him with everything, then he can't be everything. He needs that kind of support. And like then how good is the quarterback actually if you're giving him that much support? And so I feel like year 1, right? Like Caleb Williams and JJ McCarthy are going to be 3rd and 4th in this division as far as quarterback goes, just because they're rookies, because you want to take it easy on them and you want to keep things light and not have too much on their plate. But a year or 2 from now, I think it's going to be a lot more up in the air as far as which of these quarterbacks is the best. Like we still have to see what Jordan Love does. We've only seen 1 year of Jordan Love. Like we assume he's going to keep playing at a high level, but not every quarterback does. Sometimes quarterbacks have a big year and then less of a big year after that. So, I think right now it's Goff, Love, Williams, McCarthy for me, but I could easily see a year or 2 from now, Williams taking that top spot, or maybe Jordan Love. If he keeps on the same trajectory, it's probably going to be Jordan Love until Caleb Williams surpasses him, and then McCarthy fits in somewhere, and then however many more years of Goff we get in Detroit. But it feels like eventually they need to start having a backup plan for a guy who's going to turn 30 here soon. And you wonder, what the ceiling is like for that Detroit offense if they keep coming close, but not getting all the way there. Can Goff be that guy to put him over the top, or are they going to at some point look at themselves and say, like Alex Smith in Kansas City, he's getting us far, but do we need to take a swing on something that's going to get us even farther? So it's going to be a tight quarterback competition. And certainly it's as talented of a 4 quarterback division as we've had in a long time.
Guys, we're joined by Lorin Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast, talking Bears football here. I'm Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, I love this quarter. I love the fact that our division is going to be tough. I do. I think it's going to help us as far as dealing with, once we leave the division and leave the conference. What do you think the record's going to be in the division? All right, we got out of 6 games. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I still want to see what Ryan Poles does with this defensive line starting as early as today, because the days when the free agent signings no longer start counting as compensatory picks and it's all just open season. So I think we're going to see a little bit of a second, a third, a late wave of free agent signings here. We'll see if the Bears do anything, but like to add a little bit more depth on the defensive line, I still like to add another piece or two to feel that much more comfortable about where this defensive line is, because you've more or less lost a few players and haven't done a ton to replace them until Austin Booker really now. And so then I don't know where they rank in the division. Like I think this is a Bears team that's going to compete and push for a playoff spot this season. We're talking, 8-9 wins as a starting point, and then, maybe up from there. But like, I think there's going to be a lot of competition for that. The Lions are going to be pushing for 10, 11, 12 wins. I think the Packers are going to be aiming for 10, 11, 12 wins. I think they've all gotten better. And so, like as far as within this division, I think you'll certainly get at least one from Minnesota, and you're not going to be swept necessarily by Green Bay and Detroit, but you might lose 3 of those 4, but you sweep Minnesota. Like to me, it's hard for me to see going better than 500 in the division this year, but I don't think that, again, this is not a spot of like wins and losses are going to like, it's all about like being close and feeling like you're on the right track. And I think Caleb can pull off a surprise one here or there, but there's also going to be times where this team is just still getting it all together and they might lose a game that you don't wish they would have. It's rookies, right? It's rookie quarterback. It's new players on this team. Like it takes time for this to all sort of gel together. And no one's expecting 2024 to be the best. This is not the peak of this Bears team.
No, I think, yeah, you're right. You mean you talked about some games we should lose? You mean like the 3 we lost last year? But I think 25. I think 25 is when that window really opens. That competitive. I think that's where it's NFC. Anything less than NFC title game would be a failure starting in 2025 and on. I think they'll have, because Caleb will have a year in the system. Whether Waldron's still here or not, that's fine, because you'll just move Thomas Brown into that role, and he's already there in the building with him. So the continuity should be, they should transfer over pretty smoothly. The defense will be better. Whoever you get on, Booker will have another year under his belt. You're able to get a top edge next year. So yeah, 2025 for me, in my opinion, is when the window opens, is a championship window open. This NFC title game or bust. If they don't get there, it was a failure of a season. So, and that's a good thing. And the fact that we have those expectations, or at least a lot of people, some people like me have them. The fact that we can even say we belong in the NFC, we'll be fighting for the NFC championship game every year, is a huge step from where we came a couple years ago. And I think that's, hats off to him. Before we let you go, man, talk to me then in totality. Do you think this rebuild is done, or do you think there's one more offseason left for Ryan Poles?
Yeah, I think we're really close, right? Like it's right on the precipice here. And it's like every year, kind of the last couple of years, it's like, well, can we get it? Can you get it all? Can we get everything? And it's like, there's always like 1 or 2 things that you can't quite lock in. And to me, like, I want to make sure that I have a long-term plan at center at some point. Like, you don't have to decide, obviously, like not right now, but like, I don't know who my starting center is going to be in 2025. And I don't know who my starting free safety is going to be in 2025. I don't know who my starting defensive end opposite Montez Sweat is going to be in 2025. Maybe it's Kevin Byard at safety because he's on a 2-year deal, but I think it's more of a 1 year, and then we'll check in and see if we want to do another year. But like, I'd like to get that figured out. Same with the centers. It's like, you could bring back Ryan Bates or Coleman Shelton for another year, but we'll see how year 1 goes before we decide that. Like, I'd like to feel a little bit more concrete at those spots. And then, like you said, like getting another top edge rusher next season to really put that defensive line over the top. Like, that's when the rebuild will be complete. And, if the draft board had gone differently this year, maybe there was a way to get, an edge rusher and a safety and a center and feel like, wow, okay, everything is in place, but you can't force that. You can't reach just to do those things. So Ryan Poles let the board come to him. So I totally get it. But like, I want to feel a little bit more locked in at those spots before I say, yes, rebuild is set. You've got a veteran and a young player at every position to lock me in for 2025. And to me, there's still just a little bit more up in the air and a couple of starting roles there.
I think 25. I think we need one more offseason. I think we're in lockstep here. That offensive line is still, Nate Davis. I hope he doesn't have another situation like he did before. Personal situation like he had last year. Tevin Jenkins. Do they sign him? They give him an extension. What do they do with him? Which is maybe why they drafted Kieran, because he's played inside before. But I want to get that settled. And then center. I was thought about Jackson Powers Johnson, and I also thought about Cedric Van Pran, and we didn't get him. I was like, oh man, like okay, well, who are we getting now? So, and then maybe you get that dude next year. Maybe you get that, you're able to get a couple guys next year because centers you can get them in the second and third round. And we got a couple second round next year. We have ammunition. We have enough ammunition and picks next year to get the guys we want where we want them. In first round, you want to go get an edge. Boom, we can get an edge. Second round, now we can go get a safety. Now we can go get a center. And if we get a safety, the center, and an edge in those first two rounds, yeah, we're pretty damn close. We can say we're there. I can say we're there, and because we got young players, we got veterans there. Young players will probably take over. So yeah, I think one more offseason and going into the 2025 season, I think this team, as I said, that window opens. And now it's time. Okay, now we're if we don't get to the NFC Championship game every year, it's a bust. And that mentality is one I've been seeking for a long time. Like if we get knocked to the divisional round, oh my God, no way. NFC title game or bust, because once you get there, man, anything can happen.
One quick thought on that. You look at like one of the things that strikes to me is that you look at like which Bears free agents are going to be, or which Bears players are going to be free agents after this season. It's only Keenan Allen, tevinjenkins, and Khalil Herbert, like as far as like big name players, there's a bunch of backups or whatever, but like as far as like starting caliber players or players that are going to play significant roles, it's only a couple of guys that are set to hit free agency. Like everybody else is locked in for at least 2025, if not multiple years beyond that. So it's not like, oh, well, Ryan Poles has to juggle. I got to lose some guys or try and keep some guys and then still fill these other holes. It's like, no, pretty much everyone is here for the next couple of seasons. A couple of guys here and there that you can re-sign and then add those other pieces. But like the foundation is like locked in for the next couple of seasons at a minimum.
On that note, think of the free agents who are going to want to come here. Want to come, like, whoa, what are they doing over there in Chicago? Look at, they need an edge. I'm here. They need a safety. Hey, I'm there. You know what I mean? They need a guy. There's gonna be free agents who may be second tier. Maybe they're 26, 27, and just looking for one more contract, and they're okay with a role. And I mean, being a rotational guy, you're going to get some quality people when you start. They'll say, build and they will come. You build a quality team, people are going to want to jump on it. There's going to be a lot of good teams, a lot of good players who say, I want some of that. What's going on in Chicago, and that's the culture that Ryan Poles has talked about. When people start wanting to come here, all right, and that is what's for me is going to be so exciting when I see guys. Oh, he wants to come here. They signed him. That's going to be dope. It is now we're a destination point for free agents, because you got a stud quarterback, a stud receiver, 2 stud receivers. Last question before we let you go. What do you think about Keenan Allen? You think they're going to bring him back? I mean, he is older, but you could get him for another 2-year deal. And the guy he had 1,200 yards last year. He didn't fall off the cliff and have 600 yards. He get 1,200 yards last year.
Yeah, it's my understanding that even like after the trade was made, the Bears kind of came to Keenan Allen and said, "Hey, we'd like to negotiate with you now a contract extension." And then they kind of said, "All right, well, like let's take a pause on that and we'll do the draft and stuff." There's not really a hurry to get through that process, but I imagine they'll pick that back up here now once rookie minicamp and stuff is over. That they'll work on what that might look like through OTAs and minicamp and training camp as far as a number that might work for both sides. I have a feeling we won't see anything get done, before players actually take the field and stuff, but there's clearly an interest in making this last more than just one season. It's just money's going to be an interesting part of that conversation here. But I absolutely think until Keenan Allen shows you that he's declining in any real measurable way, by all means, keep bringing it back, keep running it back with him and get as much value out of him as you can, because he's coming off one of the best seasons of his career. Like clearly physically he's not as fast, but it hasn't hurt his production at all. And until that starts to drop off, and with Rome Odunze and DJ Moore, I'm not expecting Keenan Allen to have too much trouble and get too much attention this year. So I think we're good for another season or two of Keenan Allen, even beyond this year.
And he don't have to be fast, dude. He don't have to be fast. You let DJ, you let Rome Odunze, you let Tyler Scott, all those guys do all that shit, and you find those holes in the zone like you do. You've done masterfully for years, and you and Cole Kmet hang out in the middle, hang out in the middle. All right, and you got your 6'5" frame, 6'4", 6'5" frame. Cole Kmet, same thing. A lot of big targets who can find soft spots in the zone. Man, that's none but love for a quarterback, man. Hey, Lorin, great stuff, man. As always, I appreciate you coming on. But before you go, let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. It's always fun talking Bears with you. You can hear me 5 days a week on the Locked On Bears podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. And you can follow me on Twitter at Cox Sports 1, like Fox Sports 1, but with a C.
Hey, great stuff, buddy. Bear to freak down, man. I'm fired up, man. I'm really excited about this, and it's going to be one hell of a season, man.
Hey, man, it's a great time to be in Chicago and following the Chicago Bears team, man. You got to get the claws up now.
Oh, God. Oh, man, look at the time. Look, no, I do like it, but I saw some jamokes like, oh, we never thought of this. I'm like, Dan, the Bear Man has been doing it for years. The guy, he's in a fan hall of fans. He's in the fans Hall of Fame. Like the Bear Man, Dan Walkman, been doing that all year. I mean, for years. And they're like, and Caleb created in 36 hours. Like, no, Caleb didn't create this. It's been out there. Now the players are doing it. Okay. I just got annoyed with that, dude. I just got annoyed.
I thought Caleb got it from him because you remember after Caleb was picked, he went in the crowd and took that selfie with Bear Man.
He might have.
I think that's where he got it from. Was like he saw that guy do it, and then he started doing it from there. So I don't know, but
you know what? If he did that, that's first of all great thinking on Caleb's part. That's awesome. But yeah, when they said Caleb created it in 30, I'm like, come on, dude, he didn't create it because Dan Walkman was the dude. Dude, that's awesome. So you know what? If Caleb comes out and says, yeah, I got it from him and did it, I'll have a hell of a lot more respect for him, and then I'll start doing it. I'm like, yeah. But until then, no. Hey, Lorin, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Thanks. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, have a good one.
Bear down, baby. Bear down. Guys, that's Lorin Cox from the Lockdown Bears podcast. Talking Bears with us, baby. I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up. All right. I am fired up. I can't wait to get to training camp this year. Get in and out a little bit of get some come on, Booth. There we go. Trying to hit a couple training camp practices. I'm excited. And let's check out what Rome did, what Rome was talking about.
I feel like they truly did their research on me, honestly. I think they really understand what I could bring to the offense and what I can bring to this organization. And when I was having those conversations with them, it wasn't like I felt, they hadn't missed anything about me and who I was as a person and who I was as a player. So I appreciated that. I did my research as well on them, knowing that, who I was coming into with and who they were trying to get in the draft and who was already in the wide receiver core as a whole. So, I think we had that mutual respect for one another that created a great visit.
What kind of feeling do you get coming into a unit like that?
Excited, excited to attack. Really, it really reminds me of all the key pieces that I had in college and the pieces coming together for the incredible seasons that we had. It really feels like that same feeling. Having so many weapons on offense, bringing in a guy like Caleb, which at the helm of it all, allows us to do so many different things. So I'm super excited for the attack mindset that we'll have on offense, the explosiveness that we can bring to any football field, and I think it'll be special.
I think it'll be special too. And I like this kid. If you haven't, go check out it. I think I reposted it on Twitter. So follow me on Twitter. And I posted the thing, and I love his story. I like, and that's what I like players, guys who have a story. All right. And I think it's really cool when you come from a family, a close-knit family, a family that you just, you live and die for, and if you watch, he's a biracial kid. All right. Grew up in, where did he grow up? But he spent time in Utah, I want to say. Summers in Utah with his grandfather. Grandfather was white. And you just saw, they have pictures of grandpa and grandson just being grandpa and grandson. And it was so cool, and then his grandfather got, he fell off. I think it was an ATV or a track. I want to say ATV. He had an accident. He fell off and he hit his head, and so he can't really see very well anymore. So he never really saw him play football, and so he listens though. So they have the game, when the games are on, and so he listens, and the family tells him about it, and they had him at the draft, and he was like, "Hey, Grandpa, blah blah, blah 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 blah. I'm here now. I can take care of you," and this and this. Like that was dope. Stuff like that. What getting drafted does. And as a player, that's something that you do. Like I want to be able to take here. I want to be able to take there. I want to be able to do this for you. And I think that's awesome. Yeah, Jay Grizz, you're right. He, they asked him his first jersey was an Urlacher jersey. And so yeah, they got Charles. Thanks for tuning in. I don't know if I've seen. I don't believe I've seen you in the chat before, but if it's your first time, thank you very much for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. And hope we entertain you, Papa. It was a bike. Yeah, James, it was a bike. And yeah, it was a bicycle. Yeah, because that's what he did to unwind. Was ride the bike. That's right. And yeah, the Bruja, the thing with his grandpa was awesome. And to me, that's important. Family is important. Like if you follow me on Facebook, you see I've done a lot more things with my family recently as we've gotten older, and every year someone seems to surpass. All right, one more aunt. My mom's closest sister passed 2 days after my birthday last year. All right, and that leaves my mom and her youngest sister, who's 10 years younger than her. All right, and her other 8 siblings are gone. And so for me, keeping in touch with her, keeping in touch with my 31st cousins, that's very important to me. And to see that, it's important in life, and when you see people like that and you see that it humanizes them. And I think that's what people really love is the human factor. All right. Yes, he can go. Yes, he runs a 4.3. Yes, he goes up and get contested ball passes. Yes, he comes down with them. Yeah, he's great. But you see the human side of him, and I think that's what we really like because we connect to it. All right, Cub fans, you know it. Sox fans, we know it as well. All right, Cub fans, you saw the Javi Baez, the Chris Bryants, the Anthony Rizzo's, and big shout out to him for hitting his 300th homer the other day as a Yankee. So you saw them grow up. We saw Patrick Kane. We saw Jonathan Taze. We saw Duncan Keith. All right, grow before our eyes, and that's the personal relationship we have. So it was really cool, and I'm really well. Thanks, Charles. I appreciate it, Papa. I appreciate it. I really love that when you get guys like that on a team, like that you see, their why. Their why. You can tell what Roma Dunze's why is when he said, "Grandpa, I could take care of you." Come on, man. How you know what I mean? Like it doesn't get much better than that. And this guy is busting his ass. And you saw it in college, but you didn't know why. And now you know why. Because he's got a grandfather that he loved, that he just loves beyond belief. You know what I mean? And wants to take care of him because of the accident. And I mean, how many of us want to take care of our parents? You know what I mean? And now this guy's in a situation where he's got millions and he can make sure that he's got any and everything he needs, a nurse, adaptable room, whatever he needs, he can get. So that's what makes the connection with Bears, with sports, with your sports stars so great. So great job to the Bears PR people for getting that together. And yeah, it was man, that was really, really, really dope. So I'm looking forward to, and I hope Dito and Jeremiah feel that way about me. Now they're gonna put your ass in a home, bro. Actually, I think Mondo and Monica are saying, no. We're gonna put your grandfather in a home. But I'm really looking forward to it. I love what my guy Randy had to say. If you missed it, make sure you go check out Friday's show. I had Randy Trivers, my good friend from college. We were both running backs. So we were in the running back room for 2 years together. It was Caleb's coach at Gonzaga, and he was on. And I'm starting to see to me, the biggest thing that I loved about Caleb, okay? The thing I loved about Caleb was when he went to go find Rome Odunze after they drafted him. And he was in that little room, how they had the little partitions with the curtains and everything. And then if you see it, they're like, no, he's in here. And he goes in there and he's like, Rome Odunze. And Rome Odunze goes off. He's like, yeah, because he was all excited. That's a leader. Okay? That's a leader. Okay? That's building the rapport with your teammates. I played with a couple of championship quarterbacks. Tom Chacho with Holy Cross. All right. Paul Ohm, when I played with the Chargers, and George Sierra, no relation, when I played with the Thunder. Like, that's some shit they would do. That's some shit they would do. You know what I mean? And it ingratiates themselves to their new teammates. And that's what a leader does. All right. That's what leaders do. And, I'm not worried about, I don't think there's going to be an issue now. Okay, and I'm glad. I was very concerned. I was very concerned about him stepping into that leadership role, right, in that locker room. I think he should be able to win over his teammates. And the one thing about him is, he seems like he has no problem working. And he's talked a good game. Okay, and that was just talk. So now he's got to live. Now he's got to walk the walk. He talked about coming in, putting his head down, learning the names of his teammates, and obviously getting their respect. And how do you get their respect? You come in, you do your job, you put your head down. You're a rookie. Put your head down and you work. And if he does what he says he's going to do, then there won't be any problems, and that's cool. That's awesome. Awesome for him, and more importantly, awesome for this organization, and more importantly, awesome for us, because we get to watch this thing unfold. We get to watch this team. All right, this is our team. This is our team. And I'm really excited with the direction that Ryan Poles is going. So one person did it. Do me a favor. Type in chat what grade you give this draft. All right. I only had one person type it in. I didn't ask people before, but he typed it in as an A. What do you type? A minus, B plus, B, are you, who was it? Mel Kiper? Was it a B or C he gave us? Something like that? What do you got? Caleb went over the locker room. Look at his personality. Plank, you gave him an A. Okay. Shorty, A plus. Okay. King Book of World, A. All right. Jay Grizz, A. Cornelius, A. DC, I didn't even see you sneak in here. You son of my mama. I didn't even see you sneak in, DC. What's going on, Papa? Thanks for tuning in. My man Junior with an A. Charles goes, A. Yeah. Great. Now we can exhale. All right. Now we can relax and get fired up, because rookie minicamp should be coming up. I don't know if it's this weekend. They're going to decide if it's this week or next week when all the rookies come in. Yeah. When they do that, that'll be pretty dope, and we'll get some coverage of that. James 4 with the A. And that's like Mel Kiper. How can you not give this an A? The lowest grade I could even consider it would be a B plus, and that's a stretch. That's a stretch for me to give it a B plus. You know what I mean? Like I would personally only go A minus. That's the lowest I would go. But if I had to stretch, gun to my head, I guess I could go B plus. But that's so. This obviously just haters. You're gonna get haters because and it's fine. I really, what it's done is got this fan base really excited. And let's not forget, Caleb. In case you didn't remember, Caleb broke the record on Fanatics by the most jerseys sold. That was just said a couple weeks ago by Caitlin Clark. I don't know if he's a Deutsch, but he's a douche. It's been a while, Charles. Yeah, it has. You know what? It's been a while. And, we thought we had it back in 21, and it's just unfortunate that a lot of things had to be done with the tearing down of the defense and not addressing the offense. All right. But unfortunately for our guy, Justin, it was just timing, it was just timing, and it was just timing, the first of many records broken to become. We'll see. And yeah, it'd be nice for him to hit 30 touchdowns. It'd be nice for him to have 4,000 yards. But for me, the most is winning. That's it. Just win. I'm not worried about the we don't have a 4,000-yard pass. I don't care. I want wins. I want NFC title games. I want Super Bowls appearances. I want Super Bowl wins. That's the most important thing. I don't believe Troy Aikman threw for 4,000 yards. He's got 3 Super Bowls. Let's not worry about the superfluous stuff. Let's not worry, okay, about all that other stuff. I know it's a different game, all right? So you might pass a little more, and that's cool. But everyone's like, we need a 4,000-yard passer. Like, no, we need a Super Bowl. That's the most important thing. We need a Super Bowl. Well, I think they're building it for Russ and then for Justin if Russ goes down. Winning, baby, just win. I agree, Charles, and that's it. And I think it's going to be fun to watch Caleb grow. It's going to be fun to watch him, watch his relationship with Rome develop, watch his relationship with DJ and Keenan, how that develops coming in. All right, I think it's going to be paramount, and I think he understands that, and I think he's going to make a concerted effort because now you got 3, now you got 4 with Cole Kmet. I mean, it's your tight end. Nothing happens, it breaks down. You're looking for your tight end. You got 4 stud players, receivers to go to. Things are good. Things are good in Bear Nation right now. Things are really good. So, hey, listen, 2 hours is come and gone. Hey, make sure you stay tuned. Sports Zone Chicago at 12:15. We have Second City Sports with Lakina McGee and Sydney Brown. They're going to take you on another 2-hour tour of Chicago sports. Then today I'll be back on my Daily Bear Talk with Nomad. That'll be on here on my personal page. It'll also be on Sports Zone Chicago's Roku channel. So make sure you check that out. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So your boy will be on again today at 3. That'll be at 3 p.m. So 12:15 Second City Sports. At 3 o'clock, be with Nomad and our Daily Bears talk show. But real quick, I want to thank all you guys for coming out. Man, the chat was lit today. You guys have been getting funky in that chat, baby. I like it. I like it a lot. The pleasantries, the new people coming in. Charles Gilman, thank you for tuning in and coming in, man. I appreciate it. And hopefully we can we'll see you more often Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. to 11. Brewhaw 7's been he came around recently. I love that. So and everybody else. DC's been here for a minute now. Jay Grizz has been here for a minute. King Booker World. All right, Plank has been here for a minute. My guy Junior's been with me from day one. James Ford has been here for a minute. So all you guys, man, keep spreading the word, keep spreading the news, man. Let everybody know this is it, man. We're talking all Chicago sports. All right, we talked Sox, we talked Cubs a little earlier today. All right, we talked Bears. So I have my own show dedicated to Bears talk, and that's with Nomad. So yeah, I want to. I want to. Cornelius, he's not even getting greedy because I just want to see one more win. I hear you. Luis, you have a great day too. Charles, you have a great day too. Yeah. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, Elliot, our executive producer, Elliot Baez, our executive producer, Clarence Council III, our social media guy, my co-host, Adam Sencha Maya. Guys, I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. Enjoy it. Today's going to be a nice day, but mostly cloudy today, but hey, be thankful. Attitude of gratitude. Remember that. Have an attitude of gratitude. Okay? You're able to wake up and see this and have the ability to complain about this overcast day. And there's tons of people who didn't get to wake up to complain about it. All right? Keep everything in perspective and do something. I'm going to say this after every show. Do something to make someone else smile today. All right? A text, a call, a voice memo. All right? A compliment to a stranger. Just do something. There's too much hate in this world. Let's spread a lot more love. All right? All right, people. I'm gonna start another podcast with just motivational talks. Because I think I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. That's kind of. But let me get out of here. I gotta go pick up the warden. All right. Your boy, the Superback. I'll see you. And this show is going to replay at 6 tonight. All right. See you guys at 3 o'clock with my talk with Nomad. Your boy, the Superback. I am out. Love you, sports owners. Thank you for your support.